Welcome to the second half of our doubleheader at Trinity University. So we're here for Game 3 between Wisconsin-Whitewater and the Trinity University Tigers. And on the mound for Trinity, Joseph Shavana, making another Friday night start, his second of the season. As the first pitch is hit in the air to center field, it gets down, and the leadoff man is aboard with a base knock. So a good start for Whitewater as Alex Najira is aboard, 1 for 1 already. As he continues his hot start to the day. Hitting second today, the right fielder McVeigh. So he'll try and get Najira over. First pitch to McVeigh in for strike one. Reference Shavana making his second start of the year. Went 6 innings against Babson in Game 1. Only allowed 2 runs. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back, it gets away. And Najira cruises into second to put another run in scoring position for Whitewater. I say another because of how these last 2 games have gone for Trinity. Game 1 last night, a score of 14-3 for Whitewater. And the game that ended just half an hour ago, 21-2. Away 2-1. As Shavana continues to work to McVeigh. McVeigh, the first year from Mineral Point, Wisconsin. Grounded past the dive of Nelson into right field. They're going to wave Najira around, and he is in to score. Quickly, 1-0 Whitewater. So Joseph Shavana, one of the best pitchers in the SCAC. Tigers hoping he could stop the bleeding. Not the case so far today. Already 1-0 Whitewater. Is now up to bat Matt Skolin, playing left field today. As, like most of these Whitewater hitters, Skolin raking in Game 1. Takes ball 1 high. Runner on first base is McVeigh, already 1-0 Whitewater with nobody out. Swing and a miss, strike 1 from Shavana. Throw to first, not in time. Shavana likes to do that, check on the runners when they're there. In his last start, quite a few runners reached for Babson. Take strike 2. Shavana walked 6 batters. Whip well over 1, but still got the win, only allowed 2 runs, forced 4 inning-ending double plays. A predicament Whitewater will look to avoid here. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The first K for Shavana, 1 down in the inning. Now Eli Frank up to bat for Whitewater, playing first base today. Also raked like many of the hitters, both on the bench and the starting lineup. Shavana throws to first, not in time to Nelson. 4-hit day for Eli Frank already. Shavana throws to first once again. Strike 1. Frank, a dangerous power hitter in this lineup. Talk about the numbers from last season. Slugging percentage over 600. And that's gone up so far this year. Take strike 2. Tigers hoping to settle things down. Blown out in games 1 and 2. Hoping their 2 best pitchers can carry the day in games 3 and 4. Grounded to short, could be 2. On to first in time, and that ends the inning. Whitewater gets a run across the plate, but Joseph Shavana gets another inning-ending double play, his 5th of the year. We'll head to the bottom of the first as the Tigers hit on Tiger Network. Welcome back to Trinity University on Tiger Network. 1-0 Whitewater gets the opening lead in the top of the first. As we head to the bottom of the first, Tigers up to bat. Pierce Matthews will lead things off for Trinity, wearing the maroon today and wearing the purple for the 2nd time in a row. The University of Whitewater throwing for them. It'll be Max Hughesbill making his first start of the year. Hughesbill made 16 appearances last season for Whitewater, 5 starts, had a 5-1 record. As the first pitch from Hughesbill in for strike 1 on the first-year Pierce Matthews. We mentioned it yesterday, but Matthews' first hit was a 3-run homer in the rally against Babson. Matthews squares up to bunt, pulls it back for strike 2. And down 0-2 quickly. Something we saw from several Whitewater pitchers, ability to get ahead in the count. In the dirt, ball 1, and the count is 1-2. Coach Vaden Lynch calling Hughesbill a veteran guy, as that's high for ball 2. A veteran guy with a 4-pitch mix, and he called him a grinder. Very competitive. Said it's part of what makes him so good. 2-2. Fouled up above me and onto the roof of Calguard Gym. As Matthews continues to battle in his own right. There's strike 3. Matthews goes down looking, and the first strikeout of the day for Max Hughesbill. As Max Milligan steps into the batter's box, the lefty, making his 2nd start in 3 games. Pulls down to bunt. Down the line and foul. 1 down in the inning, nobody on. Whitewater with a 1-0 lead. Max Milligan starting today because of the injury to Ty Preston, the usual left fielder. A pulled quad for Preston, keeping him out of action this weekend, though they hope to have him back soon. In the dirt, ball 1. Ball 2, outside. So Hughesbill falling behind Max Milligan. Tigers still trying to get their first base runner. Hit in the air to right field, drifting back at the wall, off the wall. Hits the Nike sign for a ground rule double, and the Tigers have a runner in scoring position. A one-out double for Max Milligan. Something the Tigers looking for in this game, a good start. Haven't had any in the last 2 games. Hoping they have the pitcher on the mound and Shavana to keep things in check for Whitewater offensively, and hoping their bats can get going. Scored 3 runs and 2 runs in the last 2 games. As Lazara hits this to left field. Under it is Skolin, and he makes the catch. Milligan thinks about tagging, thinks better of it. 2 down in the inning. So the Tigers trying not to squander this opportunity with a tying run in scoring position in the bottom of the first, as Christian Holloway steps into the batter's box with 2 down. Milligan still waits on second. Hughesbo trying to get a clean inning. Takes ball 1 high. As the sun sets in San Antonio, what is a twilight game will turn into a night game. Holloway into left. It finds the gap. Milligan rounds third. He's coming in to score. Holloway digs in for second. An RBI double to tie the game. And for the first time in the series, the score is tied, not at 0-0. And it'll bring up Brandon Nelson, the lefty first baseman, trying to bring Christian Holloway in to give the Tigers their first lead of the series with 2 outs. Take strike 1, upper corner. Nelson, a power bat for the Tigers. Can do damage over the right field wall if he's given the right pitch. Fouls it off, quick 0-2 for Hughesbo. And you can already hear it from up here, more energy in the Tigers dugout. Was sucked away really quickly, a 6-run inning in the 5th that pretty much put the game away 15-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nelson goes down swinging, but the Tigers tie the game. It's 1-1 after 1 in San Antonio. Welcome back. Top of the 2nd inning in San Antonio. Score tied 1-1, as leading it off for Whitewater is Sam Patton. Hit 2 home runs in the game yesterday, walked 4 consecutive times in the game earlier today. We referenced it on the last broadcast. Our colleague Reed Rosales, who's currently calling basketball game in Calgard Gym between Nebraska Wesleyan and Centenary of Louisiana. And he called that a jaywalker. Patton grounds this one, and it spins off the hand of Holloway. as Patton reaches with a base hit. So Patton on immediately as the leadoff man reaches for Whitewater, just as it did in the previous inning. As Andy Thies up to hit. Grounded to second, could be two. They'll flip it to second to get the lead runner, but Thies is safe at first on a fielder's choice. Saw the ball spin a little too slow to be a double play to Harris. Ultimately able to get the lead runner by throwing it to Baker. As Darryl Jackson now up to hit for Whitewater. His bottom of the order all series has found ways to get on as that squeaks through. Lazera can't find the ball, but the runner doesn't take advantage, stays at first base. So a missed opportunity for Whitewater. The ball got through to Lazera. You could see it clearly from my angle, but you would assume Lazera blocking the view of the ball from Thies. Wasn't sure that it got away. Doesn't take second. Ball in the dirt again. This time Lazera blocks it. As it's a 2-0 count to Jackson. Jackson playing at shortstop today. Throw to first. Pulls Nelson off the bag, and Thies is back safely. Strike called. Shavana able to find the zone despite falling behind the hitter. Still a runner on first, one down in the inning. Strike called inside edge. One down, Thies waiting on first. Shavana on the mound. Did he go? No signal yet. And the second base ump says he did not. So that'll bring the count to full. Really close whether that batter, Jackson, crossed the line. Shavana doesn't get the call. He works with a full count. Swing and a miss, strike three. Jackson goes down swinging, the second K of the day for Joseph Shavana. Shavana now working with two down in the inning. Grounded to Nelson. Shavana covers, ends the inning. A scoreless frame for Joseph Shavana as Bo grounds out. It's still 1-1 in San Antonio. Bottom of the second at the Trinity University Baseball Stadium. The designated hitter, Alex Monson, set to lead things off. Started at DH in game 1 of this doubleheader. Still working against Max Husebo. Fouled off. Strike 1. Husebo not usually a starter for Wisconsin-Whitewater last season, stepping into that role. Doing just fine so far, only allowing 1 through 1 inning. Now in his 2nd inning of work. Ball high, 1-1. Strike 2. So a 1-2 count to Monson. Lined to center, and the catch is made for out number 1. Looked like that ball had a chance, but just kept drifting, and eventually Najira able to make the play staring into the sun. So Colt Harris leads things off, or I should say hits next for the Tigers with 1 down in the inning. Take strike 1. Harris, a fond memory against Wisconsin-Whitewater, hit his first career home run at Wolf Stadium, which for those of you who don't know is where the San Antonio Missions play, as Harris lifts that into right center. Catch made for out number 2. But that hit a grand slam in a game the Tigers ultimately lost. But still a really good memory for Colt Harris. As Jack Baker, the shortstop, steps into the batter's box. Pitch gets away, nobody on base, so no harm done. One-0 pitch. Grounded fair. Bounces off the wall. Baker digs in for 2. Slides in safely with a 2-out double. An unfortunate ricochet for Whitewater. Hit off the fence that divides the bullpen from the playing field. Stopped Skolin from getting to it soon enough, and Baker slides in with a 2-out double. It's now Jack Peterson, the lefty, a chance to give Trinity its first lead of the series. Baker on second with a 2-out double. Swing and a miss, strike 1 for Peterson. Strike 2. So a swinging strike and one that Peterson takes. Either way, an 0-2 count. Husebo a chance to get out of this with no damage done. Grounded to first. Husebo covers, and that ends the inning. So a runner on base for the Tigers, but they can't bring him in. It's still 1-1 at the end of the second. Top of the third at Trinity University, still 1-1 between the Warhawks and the Tigers, as the 9-hole hitter Hopper set to bat for Whitewater. Hit hard and lined foul. Danny Hopper just ahead of that. Hopper, a pinch hitter in the game that happened just about an hour ago. We don't have the numbers on it, but I assume that just about everybody for both teams got in, as that's fouled back into the net, making it 0-2. Hopper playing third base today, getting his first start of the season. High ball 2. So far 3 hits for each team, 1 run driven in off those 3 hits for both sides. Hit to right center, and it finds the gap. Peterson cuts it off, throw to second, not in time, and a leadoff double for the 9-hole hitter. A trend that we've seen so often in these first 2 games, the 7 through 9 hitters reaching for Whitewater, setting the table for the 1 through 5. As Alex Najira comes up for the second time today, he's 1 for 1 with a single. Swinging on the first pitch last time, and it worked out well for him. We'll see what he does here. Takes it for strike 1. The third baseman Hopper waiting on second, as Najira tries to give Whitewater the lead back. Squares up to bunt, but pulls it back. Hopper struggles to get back to second base, but no throw from Lazara. And I'm sure he'll be hearing from his teammates about that later. Looked like he just lost his footing on the base paths. Fortunate that Lazara doesn't make the throw. Squares up to bunt again, and he takes third base. So Hopper slips on the previous pitch, but this time makes up for it by taking third. Sac fly possibility for Whitewater. Najira ahead 2-1 in the count. Two and 2. Two pitch from Shavana. In the dirt, 3 and 2, a full count. In danger of losing the leadoff man. Dominic McVeigh waits on deck, and Hopper waits on third base. Grounded fair. Nelson will make the tag for the out. But Hopper scores from third, and Whitewater takes the lead. So good baseball from Alex Najira, grounding it to the other side, driving in the run. As it'll bring up Dominic McVeigh. Ball 1 outside. McVeigh entered the last game as a pinch hitter for Adam Kootway, who's not in this game. The 6th best batter in the country last year. McVeigh waves at that one. It's 1-1. Kootway hit .477 last season, not in this game. Hurt his wrist on a swing, I was told by one of the Whitewater coaches. That ball's high. Not going to be anything long-term or serious. They think it's just a bruise, but it's going to keep him out of tonight's game and potentially tomorrow. So Dominic McVeigh replacing him in right field, sends it that way, but foul into the parking lot. One out, nobody on. Whitewater up 2-0, or 2-1, I should say. Outside, and another full count for Shavana. Not something the Tigers want to see. Their bullpen's been suspect at times. They want their starters to go as long as possible. Inside, he loses them. Ball 4, the first free pass handed out by Shavana. As that one nearly got McVeigh, just missed him. Would have taken the base anyways. As Matt Skoland, the 3-hole hitter, comes up to bat for Whitewater. Runner on first, only one out. High ball 1. That was the first walk handed out by Shavana. He walked 6 Babson Beavers in his last start. So far doing a better job of not handing out free passes. Check swing, ball 2. Strike 1 as that pitch lands for Shavana. The sun slowly melting away in what was a gorgeous day in San Antonio. High of 75. Light breeze blowing in to center field. As that's high, 3-1. Shavana in danger of walking back-to-back Warhawks. Runner goes, fouled off, as he'll have to go back. So now a 3-2 pitch coming up for Shavana, the 3rd consecutive full count he's been in. Still only 1 down in the 3rd inning. You would think the Tigers hope Shavana can go at least 6, like he did a week ago. Throw to first, gets away. McVeigh's going to take second easily off the throwing error. And a runner in scoring position, a chance for Whitewater to extend their lead with only 1 out. And the first error of the day by the Tigers, a weekend that's been full of them for Trinity. Strike called, and Skoland goes back to the dugout with strike number 3. Shavana gets him looking. That's his 3rd K of the day. As now the power hitter Eli Frank comes up to bat. 0 for 1, grounded into an inning-ending double play the last time he was up. Now works with a runner on second. Grounded up the middle, past the dive of Baker. Around comes McVeigh. He scores. It's 3-1 Whitewater. The 5th hit of the game given up by Shavana. That's as many hits as he gave up his last start. As the Warhawks have a 2-run lead with one of the most dangerous hitters in the country, Sam Padden, up to bat. Frank gets the RBI single. Padden singled the last time he was up. Take strike 1. Grounded to Holloway. Throw in time to end the inning, but Whitewater adds on a 2-run top of the 3rd for the Warhawks as they lead 3-1 in San Antonio. Bottom of the third in the Alamo City. The leadoff man, Pierce Matthews, to lead off this inning. Struck out looking the last time he was up. As Max Husebo now working the second time through the order. Strike one. Lined foul into the screen on the first base line. So Pierce Matthews down 0-2 quickly. Take strike three. Another strikeout for Husebo. It's the second consecutive time Matthews goes down looking. One down in the inning. The third strikeout for Max Husebo as Max Milligan steps into the box again. Doubled the last time he was up. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back for ball one. Milligan has scored the only run of the game for the Tigers. Currently down 3-1. Pulls back the bunt again. 2-0. Grounded to first. Husebo covers and gets the second out. So a 3-1 ground out for Milligan, and it brings up Nick Lazara with 2 outs and nobody on. Lazara, one of the more dangerous hitters on this Tigers team. Whitewater facing him in the situation that they want. 2 outs, nobody on. Takes ball one inside. Fouls it off, 1-1. Lazara back and ready opening day from a torn labrum surgery that he had just 10 months prior. An impressive recovery timeline. Takes ball two in the dirt. As many were wondering if Lazara would be back for opening day, was. Full go, catching and hitting. As he puts that one into left for a base hit. With 2 outs, Lazara's aboard with a base knock, and this inning will continue for Trinity. So now Christian Holloway up to bat. An RBI double the last time he was up, driving in Max Milligan. Still the only run for the Tigers of the game. Trying to get something going with 2 outs. Outside, ball one. Tigers have had a base runner reach in all 3 innings. Take strike one. Lazara waits on first base. 2 outs. Hit in the air to left. Back at the wall. It's gone! Holloway ties the game with 1 swing. 2 for Whitewater in the top of the third. 2 for Trinity on 1 pitch. As Holloway celebrates with his teammates at home plate. The hero last weekend against Babson, a game-winning grand slam. And now a 2-run homer to tie the game, his 2nd home run of the season. Brings up Brandon Nelson with 2 down and nobody on. You think about that sequence happening with 2 outs in the inning. As Nelson grounds that to third, throw in time. A good play by Hopper to end the inning. But not before the damage is done by Christian Holloway. 2 out, 2-run homer ties this game at 3. Top of the 4th as the sun has almost completely set over the field in San Antonio. 2-run homer from Christian Holloway ties this game at 3 as the Tigers, unlike the prior 2 games, seem to be in this one. Andy Thies leads it off for Whitewater and takes strike 1. That's got to feel good for Joseph Shavana, knowing he gave up the lead and his teammates get it right back. Strike 2 as Thies waves at that one. This game now tied at 3. 5 hits apiece for both squads. 0-2 pitch to Thies. In the dirt, ball 1. Shavana had to work a little bit last inning, allowing 2 runs, 3 batters getting to a full count. The sooner he finishes 0-2 situations, probably the better. Grounded to Baker off the hop, in time for out number 1. There has been a substitution at first base. It's Corson Hastings in that position now instead of Brandon Nelson. Nelson ended the inning by grounding out. You wonder if he did something while running to first base. We won't know for sure until tomorrow. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back. As Daryl Jackson up now with nobody out, with 1 out and nobody on for Whitewater. Takes ball 2. Jackson struck out the last time he was up. In the dirt, 3-0. Only 1 walk handed out by Shavana so far. Trying to keep it that way. There's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Daryl Jackson, and he's aboard for the first time today. So now the catcher, Charlie Bogue, up for Whitewater. Takes ball 1. Gets away from Lazara for a second, but Jackson stays where he is. One 0 pitch from Shavana. In for strike 1. working with 1 out and a runner on first. Strike 2. We think an important inning for Shavana. His team getting this game square once again thanks to a 2-run homer by Christian Holloway. As he throws off the backside, safe is Jackson at first. You'd imagine keeping this game tied would give Trinity some momentum, something they haven't had all series. That gets away from Lazera, and a wild pitch advances the runner. So Jackson, good base running, able to take first, or able to go from first to second. Jackson, only 4 stolen bases all of last year, has shown he's a threat to run throughout this series. 2-2 pitch. Softly grounded back to Shavana. He takes it himself. Jackson takes third, and there's 2 down in the inning. So the third baseman, Danny Hopper, an RBI opportunity to give Whitewater the lead once again. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit today. Ball 1. Lazera tries to frame it, doesn't do it. Does not get the call. 2-0. Darryl Jackson, the runner for Whitewater, on third base. There's strike 1. This bottom of the order once again trying to set the table for Najira in the top of the lineup. 2-1 pitch. In the dirt, Lazera keeps it in front of him, and it's 3-1. Normally a walk in this situation when you fall behind, not the worst thing in the world. But you think about this being the 9-hole hitter. Shavana would really like to get him here. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. Shavana battles back to a full count. 2 outs, a runner on third. Grounded, or I should say fouled back, as Hopper stays alive. As we do the full count pitch again. Gets away, run comes home, and Whitewater takes the lead. That was ball 4. Hopper goes to first base. Jackson comes home on the wild pitch, and Whitewater takes back the lead. The third walk of the game handed out by Shavana. Fires strike 1 to the leadoff man, Alex Najira, 1 for 2. Has singled and grounded out. Grounded softly to Harris. Makes the throw to end the inning, but Whitewater plates a run. They take back the lead 4-3 in San Antonio. Bottom of the fourth in San Antonio. Leading it off for the Tigers is Alex Monson. As Monson takes ball one low. Monson flew out to center the last time he was up. Take strike one. And as we're underway in the bottom of the fourth inning, have the pleasure of being joined by left fielder Ty Preston. Ty, it's great to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Cole.
Ty, you're out with a pulled quad, I believe you said.
Yes, unfortunately. Just pulled up in the last game of the series last weekend on Sunday, but hoping to be back soon.
How's the progress going, and how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. It's been getting better every day. The hope is it continues to get better every day, and I'm back out there next Thursday is the hope.
That's grounded to second. Throw in time, one down as Monson's retired. Ty, Corson Hastings pinch hitting for Brandon Nelson, not now, but soon. Did you see what happened to Brandon Nelson?
Yes, as he grounded out last inning, there was a grab in his leg. Not sure where, but yeah, he came in saying something in his leg was bothering him.
So pretty similar to what happened to you?
Unfortunately, yes.
As a hitter now for Trinity, Colt Harris. Harris working with a 1-0 count. There's strike one. Ty, obviously seeing a lot better stuff in this game than we have in the prior two. What do you make of what's happened in this one so far?
I think we're just got to stay true to who we are, stick to our approach, who we are as a team, as a lineup, and I think we've done that much better these past few innings. I think having Joe on the mound always gives us a ton of confidence as a lineup, knowing he's got our back, we've got his.
Harris lifts that to left, back towards the wall, one hops it, and over for a ground rule double. Colt Harris, your teammate for many years, getting the job done with one out.
Yeah, we actually played together the summer before we came here. It was me, Colt, Baker, and Newman. We're all on the team together.
Was that high school or summer ball?
That was summer ball. The Houston Cyclones won the championship of whatever league we were in. Still haven't got those rings. I need Colt to go pick those up.
So they're there. He just needs to go get them?
I think so.
As Jack Baker steps into the plate, playing shortstop today. Tying run at second base. Baker takes strike one. It's a 4-3 ball game here in the bottom of the fourth. There's strike two. Ty, what do you think the biggest adjustment has been offensively? Just putting more runs on the board so far in this one.
I think it's just not getting too big, letting the moment get ahead of us. And like I said earlier, just staying true to who we are. We know we're a good hitting team.
It's Baker grounds that.
Proved that last series.
Baker grounds that to third. And there's two down in the inning. Yeah, proved that last series indeed. I have to ask about the 10-run inning put up and a 9-run comeback. That's pretty unbelievable. I haven't seen anything like that before. What was it like in the dugout for that?
That was a fun one to be a part of. A lot of huge moments in that one. Pierce, first career AB, going yard over the scoreboard. Matias had his first career AB, trickle up the middle. So great team moment, but some individual moments in there too.
As Peterson waves at that one for strike one. I actually talked to Jack about you being out of the lineup. He said it's going to be weird not having you next to him in the outfield.
I know he misses me.
Said you guys have conversations out there. What are those like?
It could be anything from what we saw last at bat to what we're going to have for dinner. I like to keep it loose out there.
As Peterson steps back into the box, working with an 0-1 count. Harris waiting at second. Check swing didn't go. And it's 1-1. What's the dynamic like between the left fielder and the center field when there's a ball that's in between you that either of you can get?
Well, unfortunately, when he calls it, it's his ball, and he likes to take the ball away from me just to spite me sometimes. But he's got crazy athleticism. He can get to anything. So I know I can shift towards the line a little bit knowing I've got him out there in center.
That must be a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
As Peterson fouls that off, make it a 1-2 count. Ty is the hitter in this situation with a runner on second. What are you thinking?
With 2 strikes, you got to shorten up. You got to protect anything close to the zone. You definitely don't want to leave it in the hands of the umpire. But you're really just still looking for your pitch. Anything other than that, you're looking to put a decent swing on, possibly foul it off, live to see another pitch. Just like that.
Peterson fouls that one into the screen. Continues to stay alive. How much momentum do you think it would be to even the game, just like Whitewater did with scoring 1 run in the frame?
Oh, it would be huge. To turn the lineup over, obviously getting PD on base anytime causes havoc.
Takes that low for ball 2. How difficult is that, a breaking ball coming out of the zone like that?
It's tough. It's just reps. We've seen it all fall, all spring from our arms, and we've got some of the best breaking balls in D3, I think.
Outside, ball 3. Close pitch. Peterson gets the call. What did you make of that?
That was close. That's one that you might want to not leave in the umpire's hands.
Full count, runner on second in a 1-run game. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Peterson heads back to the dugout. Whitewater fired up as Husebo heads back to his side. End of 4, 4-3, Whitewater with the lead in San Antonio. More Ty Preston when we come back. Top of the 5th in San Antonio, still a 1-run game as Whitewater has the 4-3 lead. As Joseph Shavana in his 5th inning of work. As McVeigh squares up to bunt, but eventually pulls it back. Still joined by regular left fielder Ty Preston. Ty, what have you thought of Max in left field so far?
Oh, he's been doing great. He got his first hit the other day, first career hit. Love to see that. We got Pierce out there right now.
It's that ball away. As you referenced last half inning, I'm sure you know Peterson's taking great care of them out there.
Oh, of course. They don't have much to worry about with him in center.
Strike called, and it evens it at 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Shavana gets him for out number 1. Is there any difference between a strikeout and a ground ball in terms of the enthusiasm that it brings to a team?
I'd say you always like the strikeout. There's just the element of dominance. It's just a 1v1, and our pitcher goes out there and wins it.
Shavana does that quite frequently. And of course, Jackson Tier throwing tomorrow. 14 strikeouts in his last outing.
Love to see it.
So that's low and inside for ball 2.
He actually had a bet with me last weekend.
Oh, Jackson did?
Yeah, where if he had more than 12, he would do a celebration coming off the mound. But he did not feel like it was appropriate given the circumstance.
Well, I think he was telling us a story last week about how he struck out the side in the first inning. He felt that that was not the best situation to yell off the mound, and then he did it again and said, okay, I have to now.
Yeah, he's not one to show a ton of emotion out there. That might have been one of the first times I've seen him really fired up coming off the mound.
Shavana working in this inning, a 3-1 count. 1 out, nobody on for Whitewater. And loses him ball 4 as Skolin takes first base. Ty, how impressed have you been with Whitewater, particularly on the offensive side?
Yeah, they've just consistently put together great at-bats, put the barrel on the ball a ton, kept the ball out of the air. Just everything you want to do in an at-bat.
As now Frank steps into the box. He's 1 for 2 with a single today. Takes ball 1. See, the outfield's a little shifted right now. Is that something that you guys focus on?
Not normally. It's not something we go over specifically. It may just be from inning to inning, batter to batter, depending on things we see in their swing, things we see with the pitchers, and then it's just relayed to us as we're out there.
2-0 count to Eli Frank. We'll check on him at first. Back safely is Skolin. Whitewater currently up 4-3. Shavana checks on the runner again. Second and third runs driven in by a Christian Holloway home run. How did you see that one?
I won't say I called it, but there are witnesses that would say I called it.
Hit in the air to left, and a good play made.
There's the shift you were talking about. Placed perfectly out there.
Hit right to him, makes the play. 2 down in the inning. You surprised Petey didn't call that?
No, just because I think he was shifted the other way. Otherwise, yes, that's his ball all the way.
As Coach Dave Smith comes out to talk to Shavana. Not his best game of the year so far. However, pretty good when you consider how well Whitewater has done offensively. What have you made of him so far today?
I think he's looked great. I think if you were to ask him, he would obviously say he's not super thrilled with his performance so far, but he's gone out there and battled for us. He's kept us in it, and he's gotten nice quick innings, let our offense do what they need to do.
As meeting adjourned, Shavana ready to go and face Sam Patton hitting 5th, the designated hitter once again. He has done damage so far in this series. I don't know if you know this, but he walked 4 times in the last game. Was that a strategy that you heard about?
Not one that I heard about, but I definitely noticed it.
Shavana lands strike 1 to a batter who hit .476. Runner goes. Throw not in time as Skolin takes second. They still have that shift out there in the outfield. Ball in the dirt. Lazara keeps it in front of him. Skolin stays where he is. Got to ask this question since Skoland experienced it with Holloway's home run. What's it like to see a ball in the air and know that you just can't get it?
It's not the best feeling. I always like to give it a shot out there, running into the wall.
You're not one of those guys who just turns around and says, "Welp."
No, I'll at least give it a couple steps. Maybe give it an attempt if it's close. Still yet to rob one. That's on the baseball bucket list.
What else is on the baseball bucket list?
First career home run would be nice.
I'm sure that's coming soon.
Collegiate home run, yeah.
Shavana working in a 3-1 count, 2 down in the inning. And inside, ball 4. He loses Patton, and 2 are aboard for Whitewater.
Not the worst thing after that steal, base open.
And now he has to face Andy Thies. Thies 0 for 2 today, grounded into a fielder's choice and grounded out to Baker at short. What's it like being on this team, having been teammates with so many of these players? It's a very veteran group this year.
Yeah, this is a great group of guys, both the entire team and the group of seniors that we've got this year. Just a ton of leadership all around, all over the diamond. Great locker room, great chemistry. Always a ton of fun every day.
Two down, 2 on. First pitch away to Thies. Ty, it seems like there's been more energy in the dugout this game. Is that something you noticed being down there?
I'd say so. I think obviously some nice offensive swings helped that. Joe on the mound. A lot of confidence in him. Anytime we have him here on the mound, we know we have a great chance to win.
As Lazera goes out to quickly chat with Shavana. Now heads back behind the dish. 1-0 count to Thies, 2 down and 2 on for Whitewater. Still no runs across this inning. Trying to extend their 4-3 lead. Hit in the air to left, but fouled. And it's 1-1. Strike 2. What did you see on that pitch?
Just a great execution by Joe. Getting ahead in the count here.
1-2 pitch. Grounded to Harris. Collects it, and that ends the inning. Shavana gets out of the jam. 4-3, Whitewater leads at Trinity. back on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 5th inning, Pierce Matthews leading things off. His 3rd at-bat of the game. Struck out both times in his previous 2. Much better weather today. High of 75. Now starting to cool down as we're experiencing up here on the roof.
Absolutely.
So that's lined into left. Matthews thinking about 2. He'll stay with 1, and a leadoff single for Pierce Matthews. Ty, you're making a hand signal right now. You care to explain that one?
Yeah, singles, we count it. Singles count just as much as doubles, triples, and home runs. And they, as we've seen these past 2 games, they add up.
As Max Milligan now up. Did you know that Max Milligan was a bee farmer?
I think I'd heard it before. He's always got some crazy stories for us.
Swing and a miss. Runner goes. Throw in time. And Matthews is caught stealing. So the base runner for the Tigers erased. Well, that's a punch in the gut.
Yeah, that one stings a little bit. A little hit and run. Not a great pitch for Millie. Not a great jump for Pierce. Unfortunate there.
So now with 1 down and nobody on, Matthews caught stealing. And strike called. Milligan down 0-2. Grounded to second, and 2 away. But we were referencing it earlier. It's a lot warmer today. What was it like being in the dugout yesterday when it was cold for Texas standards? I know there are some Wisconsin people that are going to scoff at that.
No, it was frigid yesterday. Obviously, not moving around a ton. It was pretty cold. But when you're out there playing, it's not too bad. You don't really notice it unless the wind's awful. Once you're moving around, you don't notice it until you get back in the dugout and your hands are freezing.
As Nick Lazara comes up, singled his last time up. Hit to left, and sliding catch made. Skolin makes a great play in left field. You have to appreciate that at least.
Yeah, that was a nice one. That was a great catch.
Well, that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go the Tigers. Still 4-3. Whitewater has the lead. Welcome back to San Antonio. Still joined here by Ty Preston in the top of the 6th, Joseph Shavana in his 6th inning of work. And that's got to be a relief after the last 2 games pitching-wise to have a guy go 6.
Yeah, I love to see this out of Joe. Even if he would tell you that this isn't his best performance, he's definitely doing what the team needed him to do, getting us deep into this game, keeping us in it.
1-1 pitch from Shavana. Just high, ball 2. There's strike 2. I got to ask this, even though it may be an obvious question. What was the mood in the dugout yesterday, and even just before this game, being out of it so quickly?
Yeah, it's never the best feeling seeing crooked numbers go up on the scoreboard. You try your best, especially if you're not in the game, to keep the energy up, keep the mood up. But it's obviously a tough one to manufacture energy in a game like that.
2-2 pitch, high, ball 3. Yeah, tell me about it. It's tough on this end to manufacture energy. Full count for Shavana. High, ball 4. He loses him. Another walk for Joseph Shavana. That was a problem in the last game. Resurfacing again there. What's the communication like between the bullpen and the dugout in any game, and then in a game like that?
I believe it's just a walkie-talkie that Dave's got, and someone in the pen's got it. There's definitely a lot going on in a high-scoring game like that. Just trying to manage arms, keep guys fresh for these next 2 games, while at the same time not let it get too far away.
It's the catcher Bogue working with nobody out and a runner on first. Jackson gets back safely as Shavana checks on him again. What's one of those innings like in the outfield, just standing there? Bunch of runs being put up.
It's not a fun one. Even if there's a lot of balls coming to you, it's not always the best thing. Sometimes the boring ones where there's no action are the best.
0-1 pitch to the catcher Bogue. Shavana working with nobody out and a runner on, checks on him again. As left fielder, what are you thinking with a runner on first right now?
Thinking anything down the line. You're trying to get it down to third as quick as possible. Maybe have a play there. Obviously, good runner at first. If it's hit hard enough, maybe throwing it into second because you know he's not scoring. Trying to keep that double play in order. And then anything in the gap, you're just hitting your cut.
As that pitch misses from Shavana in a 1-2 count. Throw back to first again. Have you heard about why pitchers, particularly on this staff, love to do that so much?
Love to pick off so much?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. They do it in practice a good amount of times.
Runner goes, and no throw. A stolen base from Jackson, and a run in scoring position for Whitewater.
Maybe trying to prevent that.
It's now a 2-2 count. Still a 4-3 game. Neither team scoring in the last inning. High, ball 3. So Shavana in danger of losing Bogue. Hopper waits on deck, the third baseman. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip into the glove, and the first batter is retired in the inning. And that will be the day for Joseph Shavana. It ends in a strikeout. He goes 5.1, allows 4, and responsible for the runner at second base currently. As we take a break on Tiger Network, pitching change in San Antonio. Top of the 6th inning in San Antonio. A new pitcher for Trinity. It's Will Hellings, making his 2nd appearance of the year. Threw in the season opener against Babson. 3 scoreless innings to close it out against the Beavers. As he fires strike 1 there. Coming into a situation with a runner on second base that he inherited from starter Joseph Shavana, who leads this game, giving up 5 hits and 4 runs. Runner goes, hit to Baker, caught, and a quick walk to second for the double play. That ends the inning. Hellings gets out of it as we head to the bottom of the 6th on Tiger Network. Bottom of the 6th inning in the Alamo City. Christian Holloway set to lead things off against a new arm for Whitewater. It's Logan Eisenbarth, the sophomore from Barrington, Illinois, made 12 appearances last year, 3 starts, a 4-2 record, 3.86 ERA. As he'll try and hold the lead for Whitewater. Fires strike 1. Holloway obviously did the damage the last time he was up, putting the 2nd and 3rd runs on the board for Trinity by way of a 2-run shot to left center. Swing and a miss, strike 2. But Ty, we got to talk to Jack Peterson about summer ball and how that went, and he was teammates with Eisenbarth as well as Hughesbow, who threw before and is now out of the game, and Shavana, starting pitcher for the Tigers today, as Holloway goes down swinging and heads back to the dugout without number 1.
A little reunion of the Dock Spiders, I believe it was.
Yes, they were the Dock Spiders. Thank you for reminding me of that. Gotta love lower level baseball names.
Yeah, some summer ball teams have some fun names.
Where did you play summer ball this last year?
I didn't play summer ball. I did an internship at a physical therapy clinic down in Corpus.
Awesome. How was that experience?
I loved it. Was there 3 to 4 days a week. Great experience.
As Hastings, the first baseman, up to bat with 1 down. Fouls that one towards the football field. As the count is now 1-1. Eisenbarth working with 1 down, nobody on. Was it high for ball 2? How important do you think it is to tie the game here, or is the mindset that we have multiple other opportunities?
I'd say overall, you'd like the score to be tied, obviously. Like to get runners on, set something in motion, maybe put a crooked number up there yourself. But we know we have a deep lineup, great offense, great guys coming off the bench as well. So we know we're never out of a game, obviously, with last Saturday being a great example.
2-2 pitch to Hastings. Grounded to first, and Frank will take it himself for out number 2. And as Alex Monson now up once again. Monson DHing today. Doesn't get the call. 1-0. What'd you make of that?
Thought that looked pretty good from where we're sitting. But we'll take being ahead in the count right here.
Strike one. Ty, we've been noticing, particularly when Luke was on the broadcast for the last game, the center fielders in this game playing a little more shallow, as that's ripped to left and caught to end the inning. Why don't you answer this question, then we can go to break.
Yeah, we've noticed a couple of interesting shifts that they've had in the outfield that have worked, to say the least, taken away some hits, as they might have taken away one right there.
And that's it for the 6th inning. Whitewater still has the lead 4-3 in San Antonio. Top of the 7th inning in San Antonio, as Will Hellings back on the mound for the Tigers. He faces the leadoff hitter, down 4-3. It's Alex Najira, the leadoff hitter in the lineup and in this inning. Takes a pitch there. Najira ahead 2-0. These Whitewater hitters have done a good job extending at bats. Hit in the air to left, and the catch is made by Matthews for out number 1. It's now McVeigh up, replacing Adam Kootway in this game, who went out with an injury in the previous game. McVeigh in his 3rd time through. Takes strike 1. 1 for 1 with a base hit and a walk. Pitch away, ball one. In the 7th inning. Game 1 of this doubleheader already well out of hand by this point. Same thing with last night. Grounded to second, slowly. Harris, not in time. McVeigh reaches for the 2nd time today, as Whitewater has a runner on with only 1 down in the inning. So now the left fielder up, Matt Skolin. Works with a runner on first. There's strike one. Will Helling still on the mound. Threw 1 pitch in the last inning, a double play turned by Jack Baker. Ball inside, 1-1. Hellings, the Tigers are hoping, is an answer to a big question that they have in the pen this season. So many innings departing in the offseason. Hellings, a transfer coming in, as that's ripped to right field, back at the wall, it's gone. Matt Skolin fired up as he rounds the bases, extends the Whitewater lead 6-3, a 2-run homer for the Warhawks. You see the energy from this Whitewater dugout. Fired up about that. Haven't had a lot of close games in this series. In fact, any until now. First time Whitewater's had to deal with Trinity hanging around. Handle it well there. A 2-run homer to put them up by 3, their largest lead of the game. It's Eli Frank now up for the Warhawks. Still 1 down in the inning, now nobody on due to the home run. Hit to left, it falls. Frank finds the gap. His 2nd single of the game. And another runner aboard for the Warhawks. Now Sam Patton up. Patton's already reached with a single in this game. 1 down, 1 on for Whitewater. Swing and a miss, strike 1. We've referenced how dangerous Sam Patton has been, with Kootway out of the lineup for this game and presumably the series. The highest returning batting average on the team, 7th highest in the country. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two-run homer from Matt Skolin, putting Whitewater up 6-3. And the Warhawks aren't done yet. 0-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes. Foul tip into the glove of Lazara signals the umpire, and there's 2 down in the inning. So Patton strikes out. Now Theis up for Whitewater. Still that runner on first that Hellings will have to contend with as he fires strike 1. High, 1-1. Hellings in his 2nd appearance with Trinity. A transfer student from Odessa College. inside. Trinity trying to stop the bleeding. Back-to-back scoreless frames put up by Shavana and Hellings. 2 have come across for Whitewater in this inning. Strike called, upper edge. Evens the count at 2-2. The runner on first is Frank. Thighs trying to move him over. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hellings gets out of the inning, but not before allowing a 2-run homer from Matt Skolin to extend the Whitewater lead. It's 6-3 Warhawks in Texas. Bottom of the 7th on Tiger Network. Colt Harris leads things off for Trinity with Eisenbarth still on the mound. Takes ball 1 inside. Mentioned it earlier when Ty Preston was still up here with me. Kind enough to devote 2 innings of his time. So that's inside for ball 2. Eisenbarth, Shavana, Hughesbow, and Jack Peterson, all teammates in the Northwoods League for the Dock Spiders. As that hits Harris, and he'll take first base. So a hit by pitch from Eisenbarth, and it brings up Jack Baker with Harris on first and nobody out. But Joseph Shavana told me an interesting story about his time with the Dock Spiders. He said they played a game in front of 65,000 people. And he was very nervous before the game, understandably, playing in front of that many people for the first time. But said he just soaked it all in and wasn't as nervous. And then he pitched a great game. Pitched a great game for 4 of the players in this game. As 4 teammates, 2v2 on opposite sides of this one. Harris on first base, Baker working in a 1-0 count. Takes ball 2. Eisenbarth, one of the best arms for Whitewater out of the bullpen. Fires it in for strike 1. This has been an interesting series so far because neither team has really had to use their premier arms out of the pen. Whitewater turning to some guys who have proven themselves as first years. As Baker fouls that back to even the count at 2-2. But ultimately haven't had to use any of their reliable arms from last season, excluding Cade Barrett, who started game 1 for Whitewater. Now game 3 in a closer margin. Some of these arms are entering the game, including Eisenbarth. Works with a 2-2 count. Gets away, but only for a second as Harris goes back to first. Tigers trying to begin a 7th inning rally. Down 6-3, in danger of going down in the series 3-0. Hit to center, and it gets away. Najira can't bring it down. Baker safe at first. Harris heads to second. And there's 2 aboard with nobody out for the 9-hole hitter Jack Peterson coming to the plate. And we'll have a meeting as Coach Vodenlich comes out to the mound. It'll be a team meeting, the full infield for Whitewater coming in to the pitcher's mound. It's Jack Peterson about to come up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. And a dangerous part of this lineup. We've talked about it so much, how Jack Peterson's such a threat if he can get on the base paths. Working with runners at first and second. His 2 longtime teammates, Jack Baker and Colt Harris. A lefty-righty matchup for number 24, the center fielder. Going against his former teammate in the Northwoods League. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. We've seen Peterson do this a few times. Bunt to reach. In this case, it may be a sacrifice. One-0 pitch from Eisenbarth. Bunts but taps it foul, and it's 1-1. And that does seem to be the plan for the 9-hole hitter, a sacrifice bunt to move 2 runners into scoring position. Pierce Matthews waits on deck. The leadoff man hoping for a chance. Trying to make this score just that much closer. As Whitewater hasn't felt the pressure of a close game at all this series. 1-1 pitch. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back, ball 2. Two-one pitch. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back. That time it's a strike. And that might put the bunt out of the question. Now the 2-2 pitch. Runner on second is Harris. The runner on first is Baker. Tying run at the plate with nobody out in the inning. It hits Peterson, and that'll load the bases. So if there were ever an opportunity for the Tigers to potentially tie this game, you would think this is it, with the leadoff man, Pierce Matthews, up to the plate. So the freshman with an opportunity. Bases loaded, nobody out. Matthews is 1 for 3 today. Hit down the line, but foul. Matthews singled the last time he was up, but got caught stealing. Now trying to put more runs across for the Tigers. Takes ball 1, evens the count. Matthews has shown up in big moments before. his first career at bat, a 3-run homer deep into left field. Hit in the air to deep left field. Did he do it again? He did it again! A grand slam from Pierce Matthews gives the Tigers the lead. The first year is clutch. And for the first time all series, Trinity has the lead, a grand slam. The second in a week's time. And all of a sudden the bases are clear with nobody out. Once again, this time the Tigers have the 7-6 lead. Strike one to Milligan. Can you believe that? And that might be the day for Eisenbarth, as Coach Vodenlich will take the baseball. Pierce Matthews still getting celebrated in the dugout. A grand slam in the bottom of the 7th gives the Tigers the lead, 7-6, as we take a break for the pitching change. So the pitching change mid-at-bat as the new arm for Whitewater is Jackson Burke, the sophomore, making his first appearance for the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Did not play last season, comes in mid-at-bat to face Max Milligan and fires that one for strike 2. Replaces Logan Eisenbarth. Gave up a grand slam to give the Tigers the lead. Milligan thinks about it but doesn't wave. 1-2. So another unproven pitcher for Whitewater getting an opportunity. One of the many young arms on this staff Coach Vodenlich is trusting. This is grounded to second. The throw in time for out number 1. 4 consecutive base runners reaching for the Tigers, as it was Harris, it was Baker, it was Peterson, and then Matthews to bring them all in at once. With one down in the inning, Nick Lazera comes up to the plate. The junior is 1 for 3. Hitting righty today, even though he's a switch hitter. Takes that inside. Now a completely different situation. The Tigers having the lead. That ball skips over home plate, 2-0. So you would think Jackson Burke, his job just to stop the bleeding. Making his first career appearance. Overall, a clean inning for him. No base runners to worry about. Strike called. It's 2-1. Grounded foul. And 2-2. Lazera fixing something with his padding. 2-2 pitch coming from Burke. Fouled off. Lazera stays alive. The emotion coming from the dugout from that grand slam palpable, but still an opportunity for the Tigers to add on. You would think the mindset has to be that they're not done yet. As Ty Preston said when he was up here, trying to put up a crooked number. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Burke retires the first 2 batters he sees. 2 down in the inning. Now Christian Holloway walks up to the plate. Hit the first of the 2 homers we've seen, a 2-run shot that tied the game at 3. Whitewater since took a 6-3 lead, and the Tigers stormed right back. A grand slam by Pierce Matthews. Has been a part of comebacks before. It was Matthews' 3-run homer that made it 14-9 against Babson in that comeback. And Holloway finished it off with a grand slam. Strike called. So now a 1-1 pitch. Skips in the dirt again. That's the second time that's happened. And it's 2-1. The sophomore Burke trying to end this inning, only down 1. Ball high, 3-1. A chance for Holloway to reach and extend this inning. That's ball 4. Pitches outside and Holloway heads to first base. And I'll bring up the 5 hitter, Corson Hastings. He pinch hit for Brandon Nelson, who left this game with some kind of injury, headed to first base. The senior first baseman, the lefty, is 0 for 1. As there's some kind of stoppage, it looks like there's going to be a pinch runner. As Holloway's day is done, it'll be Kai Tinker taking over at first base. Holloway ends his day 2 for 3 with that walk. You would think that Tinker coming in more for his defense. An exceptional fielding third baseman. That's the position Holloway's in right now. Hastings takes strike 1. A 1 pitch, 2 down in the inning. As they'll check on Tinker, the throw gets away. Tinker's headed for second, and he's in scoring position with 2 down in the inning. So now all of a sudden 2 down, an opportunity for Trinity to extend the lead with potentially a base hit. As Hastings steps back into the box, an 0-1 count. Tinker now at second due to the throwing error. Grounded foul. As we'll have to do it again. Now an 0-2 pitch coming up. We'll see if that error for Wisconsin-Whitewater means anything. So far in this series, it's been the Tigers committing errors, with 4 in game 1, 1 early in this game. That throwing error, the first for Whitewater all game. They've been in command for the majority of the game, not anymore. 0-2 pitch to Hastings. Fouls it off to stay alive, as he's able to get a piece of it. Trying to find a way to extend the Tiger lead. The first time they've led all series. Hit to left field. Back at the wall. It lands. Tinker's going to score. Hastings headed for second. He'll stay there with a 2-out RBI double to extend the Trinity lead. It's 8-6 Tigers. Hastings able to battle back. Was down 0-2 quickly, but brings in the 5th run of the inning for Trinity. They have 8 total, over half of them coming in this frame. As now another pinch hitter for the Tigers, it's Hunter Nevels working with Hastings at second base. Monson was 0 for 3 today. Nevels comes in to pinch hit for him. We'll see what that means defensively as that gets away. Hastings trying to go for third, no throw, he's safe. Hastings a little bit of a delay getting going to third base, eventually sees that he'll make it anyways. Slides in safely, not even a throw. So now the runner on third base. Nevels trying to bring him in with 2 down in the inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Burke trying to battle back, able to get the first 2 outs of the inning. The grand slam coming with nobody away for Whitewater. In the dirt, 2-1. Good job by Bogue to keep that in front of him, as Hastings could have been in to score if it got away. This is the situation where you need to be extra vigilant as a catcher. Fouled off, 2-2. High, full count. Harris waits on deck. He's the one who started the rally, as the Tigers have gone 1 through 9 in terms of who's hit. Full count pitch. Hit to short. Jackson, the throw in time to end the inning, but not before the damage was done. A 5-run 7th for the Tigers as they lead 8-6. Welcome back to the top of the 8th on Tiger Network. A very different situation for Will Hellings than when he left for his last inning. Gave up a 2-run blast that put the Whitewater up 6-3, now working with a 2-run lead. It's his offense able to pick him up. Those were the first runs that Will Hellings had allowed as a Trinity Tiger. Pitched 3 scoreless frames in opening night. There's strike 1. Hitting for Whitewater, Darryl Jackson. Take strike 2. Jackson 0 for 1. He's walked a few times today. 0-2 pitch. Oh, that hits him. Not what Will Hellings was looking for. In an 0-2 count, a hit batter, as Whitewater has the leadoff man aboard. Now Charlie Bogue. Working with a runner on first and nobody out. He's 0 for 3 today. Squares up to bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. Bogue doing the catching today. Made 13 appearances last season. This is his first appearance of the new season. Runner goes, swing and a miss, strike. Throw in time. Lazara throws him out and the bases are clear with 1 down in the inning. Darryl Jackson caught stealing. Great throw from Lazara. The tag applied at second base. And another great play defensively by the Tigers. We've seen so many of them today. Hit in the air to right. Milligan under it. He makes the catch. And there's 2 away. So we saw how much Pierce Matthews getting caught stealing took the air out of the balloon for Trinity. He was the tying run at the time when they were down 4-3. Maybe a similar situation for Whitewater. Now 2 down and nobody on for the bottom of the order. Strike called. Danny Hopper 1 for 2. Has walked and singled in this one. Strike 2. Hellings trying to take it to the 9th with a Trinity lead. Fouled off. Hopper stays alive. 2 ranked programs going against each other. Whitewater number 22, Trinity number 19. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hellings fired up as he goes back to the dugout. Trinity maintains its 2-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the 8th on Tiger Network. A new pitcher in for Whitewater, trying to hold the deficit. It's Brady Malco, the first year from Board Head, Wisconsin. And he'll face Colt Harris, the second baseman, set to lead things off for Trinity. Harris, a senior, he's 1 for 2 with a double. Started the rally in the last inning, as it looks like Bogue, the catcher, heading to the dugout for something or other. Something with his equipment is what it looks like, as he retrieves some item from the dugout. It looks like something to do with his pitch comm. Working with a first year on the mound. Another unproven arm for Whitewater that's getting an opportunity. This in a very different situation than some of the other ones, trailing. Fires that for strike 1 on Harris. Outside 1-1. For those of you who are just joining and are wondering how the Tigers have done this, a grand slam with no outs in the last inning, as Harris grounds it up the middle. Good play at second, but no throw, as Colt Harris is aboard once again. But it was a grand slam by Pierce Matthews in the bottom of the 7th with nobody out that put the Tigers up 7-6. They were able to bring in one more run, and they have the 8-6 lead. It was this section of the lineup that began the rally. Harris, Baker, and Peterson all reaching. They were all the runs that came in. Now with nobody out, Harris at first has to dive back. Does so safely. Jack Baker in the game. He's 2 for 3. Has a double in this game as well. Squares up to bunt and pushes that foul. An opportunity for Trinity to extend the lead. As you would assume, with 1 frame left, 2 runs might not be enough with how potent this Whitewater offense is. Harris dives back again. Game 1 went Whitewater's direction, 14-3. Game 2, 21-2. Tigers trying to bounce back and take their first game of this 4-game set. 1-1. It was the first time Trinity had allowed more than 20 runs since Game 3 of a regional against UT Dallas, where they allowed 30. But they still won the series. It was the year they went to the College World Series in 2022. That pitch over Baker's head, has to duck to avoid it, and it's 2-1. Colt Harris at first base, nobody out. Trinity up 8-6. They'll check on him again. And again to no avail. Check swing, strike called. Evens the count at 2 apiece. Two-two pitch coming up. Still nobody out in the inning. Check swing. Full count. A good take by Jack Baker extends this at bat, and an opportunity for the first 2 Tigers to reach once again. Brady Malco, the first-year pitcher for Whitewater, trying to hold the deficit. Hit on the ground. Could be two. Throw to first, not in time. They get Harris the lead runner, but Baker's safe at first on a fielder's choice. And there's one down in the inning. Good play by Thies to even pick that. It looked like it was going to get through for a second. Thies able to make the play and alertly spins around to get the lead runner. Still a double play possibility to get out of the inning. Baker on first base now due to the fielder's choice, and Jack Peterson up. He's 0 for 2. Peterson hits that one high into center field. 2 down. So Peterson retired. And it brings up the hero of tonight so far, Pierce Matthews. Matthews 2 for 4. Recorded hits his last 2 at-bats, a single and a grand slam. I'll check on Baker. Back safely. 2 down, the runner on first. It's Matthews already so many big moments in his Tiger career that's only 6 games old. Tied for the team lead in home runs, as both him and Holloway have gotten one today. Peterson also in the mix with 2 as well. Take strike 1. They check on Baker again, back safely. If you're a Tiger fan and you're watching, I'm sure you were wondering, where's the fight from this Trinity team? Ranked number 19 in the country, they didn't look at their first 2 games. Able to battle back in this one. Matthews lines it to center, catch is made, and that ends the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th, where the Tigers have the opportunity to close it out, up 8-6, trying to take game 3 of this 4-game set. Welcome to the top of the 9th. Will Hellings back on the mound for another inning of work. And he'll face the heart of this Whitewater lineup, the top of the order, Alex Najira, the leadoff hitter. High ball 1. Hellings began the last inning with a hit by pitch. That runner was caught stealing. Proceeded to get out of the rest of it seamlessly. There's strike 1. This is a save situation. However, Hellings would get the win if he were to close this out. Strike 2. So Najira takes the last 2 strikes, now down in a 1-2 hole. Nobody on and nobody out in the top of the 9th. Tigers up 8-6. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a foul tip in the glove. Another K for Will Hellings, and there's one away. Now Dominic McVeigh hitting 2. He's 2 for 3 today. In the lineup for Adam Kootway. Take strike 1. Think about how different this situation was early in the game. Tigers down 6-3 in jeopardy of dropping 3 in a row. Ground ball through the hole, and McVeigh is aboard. So the tying run will step to the plate for Whitewater, and it's not a man Will Hellings wants to see. It's Matt Sloan. Matt Skolin, I should say. Homer to right field the last time he saw Will Hellings. It was a 2-run shot to give Whitewater a 6-3 lead at the time. If he does it again, he'll tie the game. Low and inside for ball 1. Working through the teeth of this Warhawk lineup with Eli Frank on deck. There's strike 1. One out, one man on first in a 1-1 count. Strike 2. Actually, no, they called that a ball. That looked like a strike from my perspective. Doesn't make the call. And a 2-1 count for Will Hellings. Gets out of the way of that one, and it's 3-1. So in danger of walking the tying run and setting up the power hitter Eli Frank with an opportunity to give Whitewater the lead. 3-1 pitch. Hit to center. Peterson makes the catch for out number 2. Whitewater down to their final out. And it'll be up to the first baseman, Eli Frank, to keep this game going. Frank 2 for 4 today. So he's reached with 2 singles. Anything would do to keep this game alive for Whitewater. Fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. A 1 pitch to Frank. Hellings trying to shut the door. In the dirt, it gets away. McVeigh takes second with ease and a runner in scoring position for Whitewater, down 2. And now a meeting from Lazera. Trinity trying to get the final out and secure a comeback victory to make this series 2-1. Trying to give themselves an opportunity to get a split tomorrow with Jackson Tier on the mound. 1-1 pitch to Frank. Now a runner on second. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Whitewater down to their final strike. They were up 6-3. A 5-run inning gave the Tigers a 2-run lead. Trying to hold it here. Away 2-2. Frank trying to find some way to get aboard to set up one of the best hitters in the country, Sam Patton. Two-two pitch. Away, and it's a full count. Eli Frank battling back, extending this at-bat and this game. Full count, 2 down in the inning. Hit to left, it falls. 1 run comes across. Frank safe at first, an RBI single to keep this game going and put Whitewater within 1. And it will bring Sam Patton into the batter's box. He hit .476 last year for Whitewater. And they could really use a hit here. Still 2 down in the inning. Eli Frank now at first. Frank representing the tying run. Patton the DH. Take strike 1. Low 1-1. Patton, a patient hitter, walked 4 times in the first part of this doubleheader. Today he's 1 for 3. Hit in the air to right. Milligan gives chase. Harris makes the catch, and the ball game is over. Colt Harris, ranging into the outfield grass, ends the game, and the Tigers win. Eight to 6, another comeback victory for Trinity as they salvage a game in this series and head into tomorrow with an opportunity to get a split. Will Hellings walks away with the win as he shut the door when he was needed. And of course, Pierce Matthews, the grand slam to give Trinity their first lead of the series. They hang on to it. They win 8 to 7. Trinity wins. They're up to 4-2. Whitewater falls to 2-1. These two teams will play tomorrow, an early 9 a.m. Central first pitch. Be sure to tune into that. And now that this game's over, make sure to tune in to the Trinity men's basketball team, who are in regional action against the University of Texas, Dallas. From all of us here at Tiger Network, everybody in the control room working so hard on both games, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio.